Cinco was the one for you? At what moment did this whole thing change? Was it instantly, or at some point you saw him and you were like, wow, I see him in my future. I see him as my husband.
With Cinco, it was
That's very true. Okay, so you met up at the airport after the show. What was it like seeing him at the airport when you had left the villa?
if I'm being honest, at first it was like awkward because I'm like, what do we, can I, I'm like, do we hug? Do we kiss? Like, it was like a little weird.
What's the status of things? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, do you like me? Like, I literally didn't know because I'm like, you went home and it was partially my fault. And then you saw me with Charlie. Like, do you like me? But after, fun.
Okay. Should Olivia have won Love Island?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay. Rumors are going around. We kind of could address this, but anyways, rumors are going around that Corey slept with Florida. What are your thoughts on all of this scandal? And should Olivia forgive Corey? Do you want to see them? Do you personally want to see them together?
I think Olivia should forgive Corey when she wants to, if she hasn't already. You know what I mean? I just feel like you can't force that kind of thing. Because if my whole thing is respect. So if someone disrespects me, I have to get over that on my own time. What was the other question? It was the two-part.
Okay. Do you see them back together? Do you think that they will come back together as a couple?
I don't know. I literally don't know. I was so for them, and now I just like don't know because I'm nervous. I don't know.
I feel like you're giving me a no. You're not saying no, but I feel like I'm getting a vibe of no.
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know, because if it were me and I was in that situation, I wouldn't. But that's not because of Corey. It's just because knowing that you kissed someone else that I'm friends with, I couldn't do it.
Okay, but let's get into the tea here, because whose fault is it really if Olivia and Corey are on a break and then 30 seconds after the break starts, he sleeps with someone else? Who is this guy?
So I don't know if I slept with her. Like, I don't know if that actually happened. I know there was a kiss. I don't know, because it's kind of like, is he wrong? Kind of, but it's like, I get where he's coming from and I get where she's coming from, and that's why I'm still friends with both of them. It's just messy.
Could not agree more. Okay, why doesn't Cinco visit you more in New York City? What's up?
He has a business. Like, he has a gym and he has a business partner and they have clients. Obviously, I wish he could come here all the time. I love New York and I'm not a big fan of DC. But for me, it's just kind of like, I'm willing to go there more just because he has his gym, you know?
Okay, at what point, though, does a long-distance relationship need to be a closer distance of a relationship?
Oh, yeah. So for me, I don't believe in long-distance relationships. So this is like a very hard thing for me. I think me and him have had the conversation. I'm like, I can only go this long distance. And then after that, so we've had that conversation.
Okay, guys, fans, don't yell at me. I'm literally reading your questions. These are your questions for Cash. All right, so did Charlie try to get back with you after the show?
I don't, this is so
The answer is yes, obviously, but
no,
what did he do?
It was just, it was one of those things where he needed some conversations to get to a place of closure. I think it's one of those.
Okay. Did anyone go on the show not to find love, but to find fame? And if so, who are we talking about?
I don't think so. I don't think that was anyone's intention going on the show. No, not that I know of.
Okay. How do you handle all of the haters? This person says they go into your DMs all the time and there's a lot of hate. What do you do?
I ignore it. Or I cry to Cinco about it. Like, when we first got off the show, I would just bawl my eyes out. Like, I would literally like just cry. Because I was just like, what do you mean? Because that's just not how I react. And I would never say something rude about someone, especially if I don't know them. Yeah, like petty jabs I get, because like I can be petty, but like, oh my God, like people are just ruthless sometimes. It was really hard to deal with. And I'm just like, I kind of just try to block it out.
Are you and Cinco spending Christmas together? And if so, what city will you be in?
I don't think we are. I'm trying to convince him to come meet my family, because he hasn't met my mother or my sisters yet, or my dad. He's only met my brother. But I know he has plans. Like, I want him to meet my family in January. My family's just a tough bunch, so I'm like really nervous for that to happen, but I don't think we're spending Christmas together.
Got it. Okay, guys, remember, because of Cash, you're getting some more for free. Make sure you download this app. Okay, Now let's get into Cash's real relationship life. So let's be official here. Cache Proudfoot, what is your current relationship status right now?
You know, that's a sticky one. I don't, we're not like officially in a relationship, but we're exclusive, if that makes sense.
I'm confused. It sounds like a situationship. Explain.
I think it's a little bit more than a situationship because for the last 4 years, I've been doing situationships, and that's usually the area I like to stay. But with me and him, it's definitely more than a situationship, I would say. But yeah, we're just not
Are
like
you guys allowed to be with other people?
if that man was with somebody else, I would leave.
Are
Respect.
you allowed to be with other people?
No, oh my God, it's same. It's not a double standard.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
just asking. Just ask. Hey, I just,
No, we're
I just
definitely
wanted
like
to know.
exclusively just with each other, you know,
But
because
you don't want to call yourselves boyfriend and girlfriend.
I would love to call that man my boyfriend. And I feel like I feel like I do sometimes. And I feel like I don't,
What's the
it's,
roadblock? What's the hesitation? There seems to be a blockage. Is it because he's too far away?
I don't think there's not really a block. Like for him, he just wants to do it in a special way. And there were a few times he was going to, like LA was one of the times. And then, about that, we fought in LA. So we probably could have been official then. And then, he just wants to do it in his own special way. So
Okay, so has he been fully faithful to you this whole time or not?
no, this is the thing about Cinco. Like he gets like such a bad rep. Like we all get different reps from the show, but he's honestly like super, super supportive and open. And I trust that man. I do, even though
Yeah.
sometimes I like do. I'm like, what's going, just because I'm a woman. But
I'd
no,
love
like
to
I
be
don't.
on that call, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, But I really don't think he would do anything. And if he wanted to go that route, I feel like there would be a conversation first.
Okay, so Cache, I want to know what was it about your last relationship that you knew that guy was not the one?
Um, I was begging for what I deserve. It was like just one of those situations where he just couldn't meet me where I needed him to. You know what I mean? It was messy and it was sad and I was unfulfilled and I was lonely. And you should never feel that way in a relationship. And that was 4 years ago.
Okay. And so did you call it quits or did he call it quits?
So we had that conversation of like, where are we gonna go? And we were
Yeah.
texting. And then he didn't text me for 2 weeks. Then he sent me a text message and said,
Wow.
I should have responded to you. I'm sorry. It was a dick move. I'm confused. So then I blocked his number and moved across the country and never saw him again. I'm not going to be with
Okay.
a man about me.
If the man's confused, he's not confused. He's not the one, probably, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Like,
So how do you describe your type? When you turn around in your bed in a year from now, hopefully in 6 months or a month, and it's Cinco, but if it's not, how do you describe your type of guy? Who do you want to end up with?
honestly, I just want someone who loves wholeheartedly. Like, that's just my type. Like, who just loves. I like someone tall. I like someone fit. I like someone funny, playful. You know, I
And
feel like
your
that's
love language is?
words of affirmation. 100%.
What's your favorite phrase?
I'm proud of you. That's just my favorite. Like
I love
someone saying
that.
I'm proud of you, or I'm glad you're here is
I
my
love
favorite.
that. You're so emotional and sensitive. I love this conversation. Okay, so Cache, have you ever used dating apps? And if so, what's been your experience being on these apps?
I have before, but for me, it's just I'm such a mannerisms type of girl. Like I
Yeah.
need to see you walk and talk and eat and then how you look at me. Like, do you look at me and see me or do you just stare? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a difference. So it never went well. And I went on one really bad date and I was just like, I'm never doing this again.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to know if you were single and you're not single right now. If you were single, would you ever consider joining the cast of Love is Blind? Do you like that concept for a show or not?
I just don't like that they have to get engaged at the end, so probably not.
Okay, but what about the concept of forming a relationship and leaving the physical alone for at least the beginning parts?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It's definitely great to see someone's heart. 100%.
And do you find that, some people, some women your age who are on these dating apps are just like, this guy's hot, this guy's hot, this guy's hot. We know
Yeah.
nothing about these people, and
Yeah.
we're making dating decisions with like a headshot.
Yeah. For me, it's like since I model and I've been around a lot of attractive men, I I don't like looks. Okay, great. Like, what's under that? Like, can you make me laugh? Do you make me feel loved? Like, what's under that for me? You know?
The substance, the substance.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So dish and tell, I asked you to bring something with you that you always use or bring with yourself on a date. What is the item?
Well, I wouldn't bring these on a date, but my booty bands. Like, I can't
What is it?
really go anywhere with these without these. So it's like I squat with these. It's like because I'm bulking back up again, I can't go anywhere without them. Like I'm in a hotel right now in Vegas and I'm like working tonight and I still need my booty bands.
Okay. Do you think that that is your most important physical feature?
Right now, yeah. Like I had the best ass in the villa, my dream ass, and then I lost it. So I'm never going anywhere without these until I get my dream ass back.
I
Respectfully.
think your best feature is this physical feature.
Oh, thank you. I
You're
love the
gorge. You're
thank
gorge. You're
you.
gorge. Okay. So marry, shag, and remove. This is going to be hard for you. Get to marry one, shag one, and remove one from Charlie, Cinco, and Corey. Marry, shag, and remove. That's the
Okay,
uncomfortable
like
scratch. Oh my
you know
God.
what? I'm being completely honest. I wouldn't want to shag Corey or Charlie. And there's just like Corey's my best friend. Like I don't see Corey in that way. I think he's handsome, but no. And I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to shag Charlie. I just that's just not.
Not into it. So
No.
Cinco all the way.
Yeah, I'd marry Cinco. I would. Yeah, and I wouldn't want to. I mean, I'd get rid of Charlie because it's just we've been there. But I can't shag Corey. I can't. I can't.
Corey, you're not shaggable to Cash. Hope that's
He's
not offensive to
not.
you.
And I think it's mutual. We're like the best of homies.
Okay, so this is my favorite time of the program where we get to play sip and tell, where we get to sip our answers instead of speak our answers. So, guys and gals at home, you're sitting at home, you're waiting, you're trying to figure out what to do. A, get this app for free because of Cash. And secondly, grab a beverage. And if the following is true about you, take a sip. Cash, are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
I mixed in some of your fan questions, so some slightly shady, but mostly not. Okay.
Okay.
Have you ever had a fling with another Love Island star other than Cinco? If you have, take a sip.
Well, I was like with Charlie and Casa Amor, so I was like,
There you go. Will Will and Kira get back together? If you think they will, take a sip.
I hope they do not. So
Okay. Will Olivia and Corey get back together? If you think they will, take a sip.
I don't know what to do. I have no idea.
Okay. She said no because she didn't sip. So, do you believe in love at first sight? If you do, take a sip. Are you a member of the Mile High Club?
So with the Mile High Club, like, well, no. No. Mm-mm.
Sex on a plane? No.
No.
Okay. Dated someone your friends hated? Yes. Was your family initially into Cinco? If they were into him, take a sip.
It's a some. There was like two family members. That's like what you know.
If
But
Cinco does not work out, would you ever consider Charlie? If you would, take a sip. Have you ever dated two guys at once? If you have, take a sip.
if there's no relationship title, like you mean like casually see more than one
Yeah,
guy?
casual
Yeah.
C. Okay. Have you ever dated your best friend's ex? If so, take a sip. Do you think Cinco is a former player? If you think he's a former player, take a sip. No. Got into a fight with a friend over a guy? If so, take a sip. Have you ever swung the other way, even a little bit? If so, take a sip. There you go. I want to know all about this story, but we don't have time. Have you ever been with a guy that swung the other way, even a little bit? If so, take a sip. Okay, that I have to pause on. You need to just give me like what happened.
Well, I was seeing this guy in college, and everything was fun and sexy. And then we went to a party, and he's like, "Oh, I've hooked up with him." I was like, "What?" He goes, "With him. That's my ex." I didn't know. Totally fine. I just had no idea.
Okay. So follow-up question, not part of this list, but follow-up question. Would you date a guy that was open about being bisexual, or would you have this like feeling that he's going to leave you for a guy?
I'm not really worried about if somebody leaves me. If they're gonna leave you, they're gonna leave you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I don't
Yeah.
really know if I would care if I don't know. It just depends.
Okay.
Like I like a masculine man. So if he's like still, if he's in touch with his
Yeah.
feminine, it's totally fine. But as long as he
Yeah.
still has that, like macho type of vibe, totally fine.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, I love this. I'm posting
Really?
all about this later on. Yeah, this is
Oh.
great. No one's ever said that before. Okay. Have you ever cheated on a guy? If so, take a sip.
Mm-mm.
Has another guy cheated on you? If so, take a sip. Has a celebrity flirtatiously slid into your DMs? If so, take a sip. You know I'm going to ask you.
And I'm not gonna answer. I can't. No, too messy. Too messy.
Okay. Have you ever had sex on the first date? If so, take a sip. Would you be into a polyamorous relationship? If you would consider it, take a sip.
I'd
Wow.
consider it, but I know
Wow.
I wouldn't do it. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, CASHAY, we asked your fans to send in their biggest dating questions for you, and we
Yeah.
pulled one for you to answer. This is from Kara from Florida, and she writes, "Hey, Cash, I love you so much on Love Island, and I'm happy that you and Cinco are still together and going strong. My question is about dealing with rejection when dating.
Mm.
What's the best way to move past rejection? I've been dating this guy I met on Tinder for 3 weeks, and just like that, he started to ghost me. Why are men so awful once they get what they want?"
Mm. So that's just like something that's super big with women. And what I always say is, it's not you. And even if it is you, it's not you. Because that's the only way you're going to move past rejection. You know what I mean? Because so many women sit and they're like, what did I do wrong? What could I do better? What's wrong with me? Baby, nothing. You're beautiful. You're hot. You're fierce. You're everything. He didn't want you. Move on. And that's
Yeah.
fine. Like, feel it for 24 hours and let it go. Fuck that guy.
So Patty Stanger, one of these big millionaire matchmakers, says no sex before monogamy. Do you agree with that?
No. Sex is so important. But I think there needs to be a level of I'm committed to you and you're committed to me before I have sex with somebody. Unless it's just like a casual fun, I have a roster and I'm seeing a couple of guys, like okay. But
Yeah.
even still, I personally don't like to sleep with a bunch of men at once or even 3 men at once or two. Like it's just not my vibe.
Not my vibe either. Okay, guys. Now, this is the part of the show where everyone gets to think of a dating or relationship tip. So, Cash is going to give you her dating or relationship tip of the day. I'm going to give you mine, and then I'm going to tell everyone who's on S'more Live Happy Hour on Friday, which is tomorrow, and also next week. We have a big Love Island star coming on next week. I think we've literally interviewed the entire cast except for Cinco at this point. But anyways, guys, my quick dating relationship tip of the day. Dating, let me just tell you this. Dating is not about convincing someone that you're worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Dating is not about convincing someone that you're worthy. If you feel like you're trying to sell yourself to someone else, shut the door and move on. You should not be selling yourself. This is not a strip club. This is a place to find relationships. Convey who you are, let them convey who they are, and it needs to be a mutually beneficial thing. Do not convince yourself or do not convince them that you are worthy. You are always enough and you are always worthy. That is my dating relationship tip of the day. Cash, what's yours?
I think mine, it's not like a conventional one, but mine is before you get into a relationship, after a heartbreak, sit down, write down 10 things that are beautiful about yourself, 10 things you can fix when it comes to a relationship, and 10 things that you know you'll never find in someone unless you fix those 20 things. And that to me made me ready ish to move on into another relationship. I just think
Well,
it's important to take a look in.
to follow up with that, how do you know that you're ready for love? When we interviewed Olivia, she said, look, I took a break with Corey because I wasn't ready for this. How do you know when you're ready?
I'm someone that I don't think I'm ever actually ready. You know what I mean? Like, because I just have so many like thoughts, like, what if this doesn't work out? Like, you become best friends with this person and they become your world and you share so many memories and then it doesn't work out and then you're just like left with like a shell of yourself for a second and then you have to build yourself back up. I think it's just when you meet someone, if you think to yourself, I cannot be without this person, I don't want to lose this person, it's worth the risk, then you know you're ready.
And by the way, there's no point of having a heart unless you use it. Go out
Hell yeah.
there, take a risk, and go love someone. Guys, I want to say a few things. One, because of Cash today, we're giving S'more Premium away for free. So if you're single and you're looking to mingle and you don't want to judge someone just based on the way they look, then download S'more. Also, a lot of the cast from Love Island's using S'more, so make sure you check that out. You may even find someone from the show. Also, if you like S'more Live, then check out our 175 episodes right below. We saved them all here for you. Tomorrow on S'more Live Happy Hour, we have Rachel Rigler from TikTok. She is one of the most famous TikTok stars around. She has millions of followers. And next week, we have Florida joining us from Love Island on Monday. I know all of you have sex questions for her about other cast members, and I'm going to be getting DMs all weekend long, but make sure you send me those DMs. Cash, thank you so much for being with us today. I love this interview. It was amazing. Yeah. And we'll see you next time on another edition of S'more Live Happy Hour. Bye, guys. Thanks, Cash. Take care, guys.